Welcome to Lute in the Melody Glade. My name is Richard Wilson. I'm an architect. I designed this game and I wanted to show you how to play. Here is the unboxing. So first you have the board. There. If you're lucky enough to get the Gold Founders Edition, the complete first printing, base game plus 2 expansions included, then you might have found this card inside that really appreciates your purchase from the creator. That's me. So what do we got here? We've got a bag of heads. We got some player characters and a die. The Lute and the Melody game base game. So this is the primary game that you have to play with at all times. Expansion, runes, and the Mystic Hermit, level 2 difficulty. So you add this for 3 players plus, and then the Trader, Oddments and Bandits in tow. This is an expansion as well. It's a level 3 difficulty. So if you add this, then it gets a little bit more challenging. Then we've got some encounter cards. So each player gets one of these. And then a rule book. I'm going to show you how to set up the game. For 4 people. 1, 2, 3, 4. This game can be played with 1 person. It can be played with 6 people. And then if you want, you can add additional 2 players to play as either the Trader or the Runes, the Mystic Hermit. Details about that are in the rulebook. So how do we get set up? So each player gets an encounter card around the board. You can be player number 4. Got some tea here. I have some lute music in the background. I like to add the lute music in the background because it really sets the mood and the tone of the game. So here's your base game. You can choose to pretty much set it anywhere you want. I'll just put it right there. You will need quite a bit of space, so be sure to allocate good space around the board. These cards are very new, so they're very slippery. On the board, there's a couple of quick story items and rules that you can use, but for the predominantly, the rules are going to be found in the rule book. Put my pile of heads over here. That card right there for you. So each player picks player character. You can be the little gnome that has a sword going through a dragon's head. I think I'll be the dwarf. The dwarf carrying what looks like a cactus with a bird on the top. All right, set up. So if you're choosing to play with just the loot game, the base game, this is considered the draw pile, the bottom. This is the loot, and then the rest of the cards, we have the treasure, tome, weapons, armor, and then the beasts. All of these cards are considered relics. These all get shuffled, so we'll just pretend like I shuffled them. You can shuffle them how you'd normally shuffle them. And you would lay them down. If you're playing two players max, you use the inner 7 tiles. If you're playing 3+, you lay down cards for every single available tile on the board. This makes the game go quite a bit quicker, and you'll see that it exhausts all of the cards. So all of the cards are out. If you were playing just 2 people, you would have a small draw pile here. And how you start to play, basically, is each player rolls a dice to see who goes first. Rochambeau, whatever. This is a plus-minus dice, so it might not work if you have more than 2 players, but if you have 2 players or even 3 players, this will work fine. But I'll just go ahead and go first. Basically, you just enter from anywhere on the board that you wish, probably somewhere near you. But the concept is that you are entering the glade from the outside world. And you stumble upon something. What is it? This is a relic. So I have found a relic. Depending on how you want to play, you can choose to play cooperatively as adventurers. You can choose to play against each other in combat. In this case, I'll just go ahead and assume that we're all playing cooperatively, and I'll lay my card face up. But you can also choose to play another way where you don't show anybody your cards at all. Okay? So I'll go to your character next. I'll go in from your side here. Again, you can go in from any side that you want. Okay, you found a weapon, so that's great for you. This person will come in from this side. They found the loot. So this is a really great find immediately first thing in the game. Is the game over? No. The game is only over once you've collected the loot and you've either killed or befriended all of the beasts. The concept is that you're greedy, but you're benevolent at the same time. You're not going to just let the beasts rot away in this land forever tormented. So this lion character got the loot. We'll talk about how that works when their turn comes around. Each time you land and pick up a card, your turn ends. If you encounter a beast, we'll get there. So this character will come in from this side. They found a treasure. My turn again. Where do I want to go? Look at my tome. I can't really do anything with my tome right now, so I'm going to go into this tile and pick it up. I'm going to find a weapon. So I add that to my stash. If there were extra cards on the draw pile, I would put that card back there. The concept is that these areas aren't tiny. They're large areas. When you enter the glade, you stumble upon something and you find a relic or you find a beast. When you leave that area, you haven't necessarily found everything. So once you leave, perhaps there's something that you missed. You can come back for it later if you want. So I've made my turn, it's over. Now this character has a weapon. And because we're playing face up, maybe this character decides that they want to intimidate me, to take something. You can choose to fight me if you want. You can choose to trade me. all you have to do is look at your encounter card to see how that works. But I'm gonna keep going until we find a beast. Nope, no beast yet. You got a weapon. This player comes over here. They got a treasure. But let's back up for a moment. So I just remembered this character has the Lute. The Lute says, reveal adjacent tiles. So this character has the most powerful card in the game. Everybody's gonna want that Lute. And what this allows this character to do is literally flip over these cards because they play the Lute and they reveal their adjacent tiles. So now this character gets to choose what they want to do. So this character is going to decide to attempt to defeat this beast. The wonderful thing that the Lute does is allows you to befriend beasts. There's only one other thing that allows you to befriend beasts in the game, that's the tomes. So this player decides to use the Lute against the beast. So they are going to roll, and if you look at the encounter cards, you'll see that Lute against beast means that you either befriend it, or if you lose the encounter, the Lute is dropped underneath the beast. So we're gonna roll to see what happens. Plus, so this character defeated the beast or befriended the beast. So now they get to befriend this beast and take them on as their companion. They can use the beast to fight for them. They can just keep them in their stash. Okay, so this character's turn is over. Now it's this character's turn. And something that you can do is pass the dice around. Even if you don't have to roll, that'll indicate to everybody whose turn it is. So, okay, they've got a treasure. Now it's my turn again. I'm gonna go here, get the beast. Okay, so here's how interacting with the beast works. Beasts are unrelenting. Other players are relenting. So you can choose to continue fighting as a character, but you don't have a choice when you interact with a beast. You must continue fighting it until it's either dead or you've befriended it. So I've got two options here. I can either use the tome, and if I look down on my encounters card, I'll see that I could befriend the creature or the beast with my tome. The other option is the weapon. The weapon kills the beast. What happens if I kill the beast? Well, I only get 1 point from the beast. And by killing it, I take its head. So that's what the heads are for. Okay? So I want to try to befriend the beast because it's 2 points at the end of the game if I befriend it. So I'm gonna lay down my tome. It's my turn, so I'm gonna roll to determine the outcome. It's a 0. What does 0 mean? That means I fumbled my words when I was speaking the spell. I have to quickly say it again before the beast gets to me. Plus. All right, so it's a win. So I've befriended the beast, cast a spell on the beast. And you know, it's really your choice how much you want to roleplay the game. You can really get into it, you can get into the story, and if your friends are interested in it, they can play along. My turn is over. So how do you win the game exactly? I mentioned before, I'm just going to flip everything over so that you can get an idea. Normally the cards would not be flipped over like this, but I just want to illustrate. In the game, there are 6 beasts, if you count them up, in the base game. So players must defeat all of the beasts. So let's assume all the beasts are defeated. Let's say they're spread around. Let's say you got a beast. One beast was discarded and a player has its head, etc. At the end of the game, the beasts are defeated, the loot is collected. Now all the players are free to leave to their respective sides and they can count their loot to see who won, or their relics. Okay? So, how do you integrate the expansions into the game? So I'm going to collect the base game cards. And let's say I want to play both the Trader and the Runes expansions. How do I do that? It's pretty similar. So this becomes your draw pile for the Trader. This becomes your draw pile for Runes. And what you do is you take your Trader card and you take your Mystic Hermit card and you will put them into the orange Lute set, okay? And you would lay your cards down and you would shuffle them around. And then you would lay your cards down like you normally would. Okay? Depending on whether you're playing 4 players or any number of players. And you can choose how you want to play. If you want to play all 6 players on the inner 7 tiles, that's perfectly acceptable. It's going to be tight and it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. Okay, I'm just going to make sure. Yep. I'm just going to put this down here so that we can illustrate how that goes. So your draw pile is over here. So you go around the board normally as you do, discovering things, killing things, whatever. Okay. If you stumble upon the Mystic Hermit, once discovered, it becomes a fixed tile. Now what you do is you shuffle the ghosts into the draw pile. Where are the ghosts? The ghosts are in your runes pile. So these are your runes. These are your ghosts. These all get shuffled into your draw pile. Okay? Trade your relics with the mystic while standing on their tile at any time. So now that I've landed on this tile, I can trade any tradable card for the amount of points that are listed. So each of these runes is listed as 1 point. I have a beast here, so I can trade this beast for 2 rune cards. So I can choose Conflagrate and Reveal. Add those to my stash. Okay? What happens if you find the Trader? Trader works the same way. If you land on the Trader, once discovered, the Trader becomes a fixed tile on the board. It'll stay there throughout the game. Unlike the other tiles that you can pick up, this one stays right there. Okay? So when the Trader is revealed, you look for all of the bandits, which are right here. And all of the bandits get shuffled into the draw pile. All right? The Trader's goods, the rat bot, the special present, nether goggles, life, those all become available to trade, just like in runes. So again, I can use my relics to trade for the amount of points that are shown on the card. This is an interesting component if you say want to play 7 or 8 characters. At that point, you don't have 2 players on the board, but what you do have is 2 adventurers playing as the Mystic or the Trader. It's kind of a fun mechanic because now you have a different set of people trying to basically buy up all of the goods in the game. And those characters start out with their store. So they start out with quite a lot of points already. And you have to try and whittle down their points in order to win over them. It's quite challenging because they start out with a lot. So when these games are added, you'll be naturally moving around the board, defeating beasts, collecting relics. Sometimes you'll find a bandit, and sometimes you'll find a ghost. Ghosts work the same way as beasts. You'll see on there it says beast, so there's no confusion about that. Bandits work a little bit differently. All you need to do is follow what it says on the card. In this case, on the winning roll, the mistress is returned to the bottom of the draw pile. On failed roll, mistress hoards your loot. So if you roll a plus, you've defeated the mistress, and you can send her back to the bottom of the draw pile. Bandits are not defeated. They're other people, but they're trying to get your stash. They're trying to get all your stuff. And they're usually going after something specific. Again, ghosts act just like beasts. So you land on a ghost, you have to defeat it, or you have to either kill it or befriend it. And you have to keep trying until it's gone. So that's the game. There are quite a few more mechanics, so I suggest checking out the Lute rulebook. If you have any notes, there's a little notes section in the back. And my name is Richard Wilson. I encourage you to please go ahead and contact me via my website. You'll find it inside of the board. So thank you again for watching, and I really hope you enjoy Lute and that you get lost in the Melody Glade.